very enormous package from Pennsylvania to South Carolina. Randy, thank you. I know there's a gas tank in here. That's gonna save me over 500 bucks probably, if I can clean it up and use it. Let's see what else is in the box. This would have cost a fortune to ship, but luckily I had a friend, Jared, he's a YouTuber also, was able to grab this on his way back from Pennsylvania. So it worked out real well. Some NOS oil filters. All right, mine was chewed up all along here from the starter, and the starter was also chewed up. Okay, an extra windshield wiper motor. There was a time where I needed one of those. I was able to get mine working, so now I have a spare. So these tanks are reproduced, but the price is just wild. 550 bucks for a tank. I'm very fortunate though that Randy was able to find this one and get it to me here in South Carolina. Looks like at one point it was rust coated. That probably helped save it. The top of it is a bit rusty and pitted, but I'm not seeing any holes. And here's a horn. It might be more like the original than the ones I got over here. This is my old tank, the one that came out of it. This one has a sending unit here and nothing up top. And then this one has the sending unit up front and some kind of maybe a return. Here it must be for a later model, maybe a 73, 74. So I'm just gonna leave that alone. I'll probably just, he put some rubber on this for shipping, but I'll probably just cap that off permanently. I won't need it for a 1969 with no return. Got the gas tank straps in here, trying to clean them up a little bit. With the gas tank being black, I'm probably gonna paint those silver just for some contrast. So let's revisit this. There's the filler neck. Goes down through to the bottom and curves over. Goes towards the tank here. There's also a vent. It's right above this. Let's see if I can. I don't know if you can see it, but over here, that's what that is. I'm thinking about replacing this rubber. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolt out and then pull on that and see if it'll come out. See what size it is. Nothing comes easy with this fan. I had to sawzall the large rubber hose that's under here, and now the vent hose is stuck. So there's what's left of that hose. It's about as hard as a brick. The vent tube comes up to here. I'm gonna have to sandblast this part. So the inside of this thing is really terrible. See if I can hold it into the light. I think this tank has been washed out already on the inside, but this, I'm going to take a look at this and see if it works. It's the sending unit with the float for the fuel level. So let's see if I can get it off without destroying it. Glued it in a little bit, or it's got some kind of sealant on it. Alright, so that means that the previous owner of this tank had already capped this off. This had already been off, and he sealed it up so that it wouldn't be smelling during shipping, and he capped this off, because you can tell that's new. So this does not look real good. You're supposed to have a sock on the end of this that's basically a filter, and it's totally missing. Here's the float. As you put gas into the vehicle, this will come up, float up with the gas level, and this little electronic doodad here will send a signal of a different amount of ohms resistance through this wire to the gauge. So I have to decide if I want to try putting a sock on this and seeing if this will work, or just ordering a new one. Now here's what I'm told. You can get one for a 1975 and modify it slightly, or you can pay the extra, quite a bit extra price for a specific one for this exact van. All right, this part is cleaned up. I sprayed some sand from the sandblaster up in there, maybe cleaned it up a little bit. Gonna paint that. I've got an idea. My engine is finally ready at the machine shop, and I've got to pick it up with this trailer. Now this is a very rickety trailer. It has no suspension whatsoever, so it bounces quite a bit going down the road. So I have a idea. Throw a bunch of nuts and bolts in this thing and put it on the trailer on the way to the machine shop. It's about an hour drive to work and then over to there and then back. So I'll probably be driving about 2 hours with this trailer. If this thing bounces and up and down enough, it may clean up the rust in the bottom of the tank or around the tank. I bought this bag of nuts at a thrift store one time. And here are some heavy lug nuts. This is some carburetor cleaner I've had a long time, so in it goes. I situated this thing on the back of the trailer. I feel like it'll get more action, tumbling action back here. It's like I said, this is a very bouncy trailer, so it's like free energy. I did buy a few parts for the tank filler hose, which I'll show you. That I'll cut that down to about this length. This thing was like 35 bucks. Kind of a ripoff, but it's fuel resistant. And a new fuel tank sending unit. Bought both of these on eBay. This is from Classic Industries, and this is that same company that has that overpriced gas tank. But it was like 110 bucks. That's the cicadas. I went to the machine shop to pick up that engine with this trailer, and the engine wasn't ready. There was a miscommunication. They were supposed to assemble the whole bottom of the motor, the whole rotating assembly. It wasn't finished. A couple of days, I'll go back. But I wasn't really convinced that this thing tumbled and sloshed enough, so I'm hooking it to the four-wheeler and we're gonna go for a ride around the yard. It's very bumpy. See if we can figure out what we're working with now. One of the things I didn't consider is just how hard it's going to be to take these nuts and bolts out of this tank. You see, this curves inward like this, so it's difficult just to dump them out. And then this pipe extends into the tank, so if you turn it that way, it's just gathering around inside. And now I've got to figure out whether I'm going to get them out with a magnet or somehow shake it or take this part off. Even it has a dip in it. This is going to be hard, but lots and lots of rusty residue in there, and there's a lot more inside. Well, after about a half hour of tumbling this thing around trying to get the nuts out of it, I've given up. I'm gonna buy a rare earth magnet on a stick and reach in there and get these. But in case you were wondering if this worked or not, I have inspected. Look at how much better the bottom of this looks. And that right there is just foamy dirt. It'll come right off. So it absolutely positively did work.